Sammy.
Hey y'all, my name is Sammy Walker Herrera. I work at Washington and Jefferson College, and I'm our lead coordinator. As of now, we're still transitioning a new person into the role.
Awesome. Oops, I lost Erin.
Hi, everyone. I'm still working on getting my video up.
Okay.
Sorry, my laptop is a little crazy today.
Oh, there you are. Hi,
Erin. I'm Erin Pacer Oath. I'm at the University of Mississippi.
I don't know. I know you're at Rollins, and I cannot remember your first name.
Bailey.
Bailey. I was like, it's not Brittany. Bailey. All right, Bailey, why don't you go?
Sure. Bailey Clark. I'm the Associate Director in our Center for Leadership and Community Engagement at Rollins, and I work very closely with all of our democratic engagement work.
Thanks, Bailey.
Yeah.
Amy.
I'm Amy Kokis at the University of Nevada, Reno, and I'm an Associate Director in our Center for Student Engagement. I have my camera off right now because I'm trying to sneak in some lunch really quick, but then I'll turn it on.
Totally understand. Vivian.
Hi, I'm Vivian Lanzo. I'm at NJIT, or New Jersey Institute of Technology in Newark, New Jersey, and I am the Director for Civic Engagement.
Awesome. This is Monica Nixon. I am a poor substitute for Stephanie King. I work at NASPA, and one of the incredible benefits of this few months at NASPA has been the opportunity to get to know all of the programs that Stephanie and then our former assistant director Jasmine worked with. It has also meant that I think I'm kind of just like I'm doing a lot of just-in-time management here. So I appreciate your grace with some of that. Things that have arisen in the past few days that people have asked questions about that are probably good for us to reflect on. We have our blog schedule. There are a couple of opportunities that I shared with the lead consulting institutions last week that I'll send out to this group, but I'll talk through those. And then if there's anything else that you all want to talk about, I don't know if, Erin, it might be helpful to get a Kettering update, perhaps. But if there are other projects that are being developed or that you all are working on or that you would like to work on, we can talk through those as well. Does that sound okay? Okay, and there's there's recorded evidence of this just-in-time leadership right now, so I'm going to send this out. I've just admitted it, but I really appreciate you all. So, okay, so let's talk about the blog posts first. So thank you to Vivian for asking about this. Melissa also asked about this. And so I know that there have been, kind of several times a week blogs that the advisory institutions have created. I will admit that at least through December, that's probably, we might just have that be a little hiatus, some breathing room perhaps, but the question is, do we want to pick them back up in January? So that's the question for this group.
Monica, do you have a sense of analytics on those? How many people read them or engage with them? I mean, I know within our group we share each other's work and we probably are more attuned, but how broad is the readership and the reach?
Mm-hmm. I don't know that. And that's actually, I know there's some work in NASPA to look at our blogs in general for those very things, particularly the constituent group blogs, right? Are they being read by people who are outside of the constituent groups? Are they being, kind of what's the readership, the visibility of those? So I don't know, but Erin, I can find that out and then send that to this group, because I can imagine that would be a good part of the decision-making process. Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that, Erin. I think we certainly read each other's, but it's a nice exercise in the sense that it gives us a chance to reflect and whatnot. But if it's not being read more broadly, then maybe we do more of an internally facing process that's less formalized or something like that.
I know I've liked them. I mean, again, when it was funny because Vivian, I think when you wrote to me, and I thought, oh, yeah, I do. I miss those. Because Stephanie would always just send them along to me, and just to read about the interesting work that's happening on your campuses and the different ways that campuses are thinking about civic engagement. But yeah, there could be some other ways to accomplish the task. Did each institution write one? Is that right? Or, okay.
But I think because it's a reflection, as someone said, that is an opportunity for us to think about the things that we're doing and sharing it. And if they're not being read by other people or NASPA members, maybe we can think about what is the best way to distribute to them, whether it's, sending them to the knowledge communities and distributing to that group, or, something to that effect. I don't know how it would work, but, I just think it's a great opportunity. I know I'm one of the folks who's always saying, Stephanie, can I get an extra day, or something like that. But, I think it's something that is a great opportunity for us to kind of talk about the things that are going on our campuses.
Okay, so I will do some digging and then share that back out with this group. So looking at the analytics on the lead institution blogs, and then share that as you're thinking about developing that. Oh, look, people are joining the call. All right. So I don't know everyone in this group. So we just were joined by, and it says TYANNUZZ on your screen. Could you introduce yourself?
This is Tom Yanuzzi. I'm replacing Michael Sansevero at Kennesaw State University.
Hi, Tom. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Look forward to working with everybody.
Awesome. And then who's joined us with the 305 number?
Hello, it's Andrew Weimer from the University of Miami.
Hey, Andrew.
The Butler Center for Service and Leadership. Nice to see you all.
All right. Thanks, Andrew. Okay. Okay, so a couple of things that have just come across our screen. So the e-journal on public affairs, have you all seen this call for submissions? Okay, so I'll send this out with notes, or e-journal on public affairs, sorry, is that what, yeah. The e-journal on public affairs is doing a special issue. It's a very tight timeline. So in fact, I think that for initial submissions are due December 6th. Surprise, but they're looking particularly around issues of civic engagement. The special guest editors are Stephanie King, Felice Noodleman, and Anna Keegan from ASCU, and so they are. And it's an interesting call for submissions because they're looking for not just like articles, but they're also open to videos or artwork or spoken word pieces or different kinds of methodologies. It is an electronic journal, and so but the theme is All Voices Count, Advancing Democratic Engagement. And so so I will send this information out to you all, but it can be things that were presented at the Civic Learning and Democratic Engagement meeting last year. It could be proposals that have been that you're submitting for this coming the 2020 meeting. But they're looking at they're looking at the census, so things that are really timely, thinking about voter engagement, civic action. So anyway, that's the, I'll send this out to the group. It is a tight turnaround, but if you write to Felice, Anna, it's particularly Felice and Anna right now, Stephanie King after January. They can tell you more about that. But and then the other one is that we have the CLDE call for programs. That is the call for programs are due January 31st. And we are introducing a couple of different formats there that, maybe that's a theme here, thinking about delivery methods. So in addition to the general sessions, there are these, you can submit a Pecha Kucha, which is a very short, I think it's 4 minutes. But it's on a particular topic, so I think it's 20 slides for 20 seconds each, so it's kind of like an essay speaks sort of thing, but a very brief presentation. There's also civic cafes that we've included as a part of the call for programs. So and that was in response to feedback about wanting more dialogue opportunities during the CLDE meeting. So we thought we'd formalize that into the program itself. So if there's a topic that you want to have a dialogue about, you can maybe work with other colleagues and present, and submit a proposal to host a space, like to host a conversation dialogue space for those. But that's all part of the call for programs for CLDE. So and those are due the 31st. So those are the updates I have.
Well, I can give an update on the Kettering project. For those that are new to this space, I have been working with Stephanie and 2 other colleagues from NASPA and the Public Policy Division and a couple of other campus administrators as part of a project team. This is a 3 to 5 year project to develop issue guides on hot topics for student affairs professionals. And our first issue guide has been free speech and diversity and inclusion, or free speech and the inclusive campus, I think is the title we're going with. And we have finished the writing process, and this has been a long writing process, and it got really crazy in the middle of the semester. So things to learn, time it well, so the writing happens in the summer. But we're super excited to have that guide finished. It is now in layout and design, and saw some draft covers earlier today and got really excited to see it start to come to life. We are piloting that issue guide starting in January at the Student Success Conference. And then we've already had a couple of campuses interested in being pilot campuses to use that issue guide and to give us feedback. That feedback is really, really key. And then we'll make some tweaks, adjustments based on that feedback, and we hope to have a final publication by the NASPA meeting, the full NASPA conference in March. So it is moving along, but we're super excited, and we think it'll be a really valuable guide. Again, it doesn't shift so much to it's not legal guidance. It is more about understanding the way people think about these issues, and then how we can bring those values into conversation as we're talking about those on our campus. So we hope it'll be a valuable guide, and we look forward to seeing what it looks like in practice as we engage with it on campuses. We will be doing a pre-con at NASPA and a breakout session. So we may look to you. If you're interested in piloting the guide, we would love to have you pilot the guide. So please let us know that too. We'll be glad to send you a fancy, non-fancy copy and to work with you to get some of those things in hand because your feedback would be really valuable.
Erin, are you all going to need help at the pre-conference session?
Possibly. Possibly. I don't think we've gotten that far to think through that. But if you would like to be a part of it, definitely let us know. We're hoping by doing the pre-conference, we're hoping we'll also be able to train some people to help facilitate the conversation at the breakout session later on as we introduce it to larger audiences. So we very well may need help at the pre-conference. We just don't have a gauge of that right now.
Okay. Yeah, well, let me know. I'd be interested, or if you need help, I'm sure others would be as well. So, and we've set our date to use the guide on February 1st. So,
Oh, fantastic.
yeah, and it'll be with our student government officers here and appointed officers. So it'll be about 75 students. And so I'll give you all kinds of feedback after we have that
Yes.
event on the 1st. And then we're going to do it with our student employees, which is about 120 on the 2nd.
Okay.
That is a weekend of PDI for us.
I love it. No, that will fit perfectly in that time frame because our other pilot sessions, the Student Success Conference, is MLK weekend, so late January, and so that's within that perfect time frame for us to get feedback and to utilize it.
Great.
Other updates?
So I was at the Students Learn, Students Vote Summit yesterday in DC, and there's a lot of interest from groups to create some kind of hub of like resources and things. And I don't know, Monica, if that's NASPA or if that's in collaboration with some other folks, but if you're familiar with Breakaways, they have like a pretty good hub, but people have to pay into that to get the resources. And so we're just trying to figure out like who will be the keeper, right? Because it's okay to gather everything, but then how do we keep it updated and all of that afterwards? So yeah, that's just what it's on. It was a group of administrators that were chatting about that. And so it's on my mind. Amy and I were talking about it this morning and just trying to figure out. So I'm just throwing it out there to get people's brains working and what it might be, but even like how we share student position, job descriptions, like all sorts of things. It's kind of housed all over the place right now.
Yeah, I think that would be the question is what kinds of resources, right? Because I think the challenge is probably that the resources exist in lots of different places.
Right.
But this would be a nice thing to accompany the rubric. So here's what you have to do, and then here's some ready to go resources to implement some of those. I would imagine Campus Vote Project has some of that.
All In has some of that, right? Like everyone's got parts of it. Yeah. So
yeah. So who would be the logical group to hold that?
Yeah, Monica, do you know, I was kind of messing around with the Knowledge Community website and, the new updated stuff. Do you see something like that being available with the new updated website?
It could be, right? Like there's as much as, as much as I would like to think that everyone goes to all of those individual knowledge community websites, that may not be that might bury it a little bit farther down the structure. So, I don't know if the resources section could be good. There is a civic engagement kind of, like our focus areas, there's a civic engagement link. But right now, I think it takes you to the knowledge community, which is fine, so maybe that is it, right? Maybe we've given it that visibility by putting it down as a focus area. Yeah, I think that could be.
And I'm not like saying we need to be the keepers of it as in NASPA or this group, but I know the collective wisdom that's here. I just wanted to get people's brains thinking about how we might be able to do that. Maybe it is Students Learn, Students Vote, and then they kind of are the keeper of all of these things, right? But and then trying to think about how we manage it a little bit too. So it was at the very end of an hour breakout, and it was like, all right, now we got a break to go to dinner, and then we never got to solve the problem. So it's just kind of lingering, and they were still meeting today, but I had to come back. So.
Right. I think it probably depends on what kinds of resources, right? What's the focus?
Right.
Yeah. Would there be a smaller group of this group that might, I don't know if Amy and Spencer, if you want to work with Stephanie when she's back to really kind of think through that. If this is a good KC project to help shape what that could look like. Just trying to think about how to move that along so it doesn't,
Yeah, I think we can approach it from both sides, right? Like the institutional side with the lead, the individual members with the KC, right? I think it can be a collective contribution. And again, is that something we contribute here, or as an association, is that what we contribute to the greater entity elsewhere? That's probably, I don't know, but yeah, I'm willing to work on it. It's on my project, right? And then how do other partners help, so we're not going back in a million directions.
I think the challenging part, Spencer, is there's so many people working in that space. And so I feel like so many of them have resource links that are already put together. So I feel like, I guess I'm not sure what the value is of creating another place that just has links to all these other places. So help me understand what the gap is. Is it that is it a translation problem? Like these things exist in different, is there one place that we can elevate or promote or say, hey, this is a good example?
Yeah, well,
or is it?
Yeah, there's nobody collecting stuff like job descriptions or programs, right? They're we have resources to help you, like money, but when it comes down to specific programs that you can do on your campus, some of them exist, right? Like National Voter Registration Day and things like that, but there's a whole bunch of things that people are doing where there's nobody keeping that. There's nobody doing the help administrators on the day-to-day stuff. There's the really high, we've got money to help you do whatever you want to do, but the other part of it doesn't seem like that's where the gap is.
I found the listserv to be really helpful in some of those issues. Are you a part of that, the student voting listserv?
Right, but again, the listserv is only if you're on it, right? So if we have this other thing, we can, I don't know. I don't know if there is an answer. I don't know if there is a need.
Yeah.
It's just everyone who was there, the 20 administrators were like, yes, that's what we need. And so.
Well, fair enough. I know there are a lot of different pieces out there.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that either, right? Yeah, there's a lot out there. It's just kind of filling in the more day-to-day stuff, I think, is what people are looking for.
Or I think what I've heard too is people that are new to the space and the area, where do they sort of start looking for things? How do you find out that that's a listserv? How do you find out that this is, and I know you do it by going to conferences or making connections, all those things. So I've heard that repeatedly as well, but it's sort of, how do you solve this one place? I don't know if there can be a one place.
Yeah. So maybe that leads me in a different direction, Amy, because in that sense, that could be a really place where a brochure could really come in handy that says here's how to get started, or here's a video or a tutorial about, if you're new to voting engagement, here's ways to plug in. If you're new to census work, or if you're new to those different kinds of things, tools for navigating that space. Interesting.
Yeah, I like that idea. So you can put Spencer and I on that working group, and then if anybody else wants to join us, sounds like we started.
Thank you.
I'll just throw that out there, that we'll have a good direction to move.
Okay. Any other updates or questions, thoughts that have arisen?
I'll just say one thing from the knowledge community perspective. We have a meeting next week, but we are organizing a webinar in January, and the topic everybody's kind of agreed on is sort of free speech, as that seems to be a hot topic and on campuses, and so we're looking at sort of like a panel style. So that'll be the end of January, it looks like. So once a date is solidified, I will share that with the group.
Do you know who the panelist will be? Can you give us inside information?
We're literally just asking now. So if you know anybody or want to be a part of the panel.
Well, I know some people. I can make some recommendations.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. Lindsay from the knowledge community has just started to put out a call out of anybody that might know anybody to sit on a panel. And we're trying to look from different perspectives, right? We just don't want to, my feedback is not an all lawyer panel, that I really want it to be a diverse, or perhaps no lawyers, but that, that won't be my, you know what I mean? How that kind of looks.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks, everyone. I'll send notes. I've been taking notes. I'll send those out along with a recording for anyone who was not on this meeting. We're scheduled for December too, right? So I'm going to do some checking in with Stephanie King before then, just to make sure that, again, what she would like to have happen with this group is, we can bridge that until she gets back in January. So awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good one. Thank you.